He's our little miracle. He's our little miracle.
For some, having a baby is the most natural thing in the world, but Asma and her husband were forced to turn to science in what was an emotional and grueling journey.
I felt like a failure. I felt as if I couldn't achieve something that others are achieving on a daily basis so naturally.
From struggling to conceive to the birth of her son through fertility treatment, the additional battle of cultural stigma has made this process for Asma even more difficult.
It wasn't until we actually started speaking to people that people's reaction was like, whoa, hold on a minute here, you know, you're going down that route, science, you know, that's, God wanted it to happen, it would happen. And that's when the doubts really started.
Asma is one of the very few British Pakistani women to take up fertility treatment like IVF in the UK. She feels it's because other women like her have and will face similar problems.
It's a cultural mindset. No matter how much we try to adapt, it's that cultural element of it that we need to remove. That's what we need to address.
New figures handed to Sky News from the government's independent regulator for fertility shows over the past 5 years the number of women from a BAME background undergoing IVF treatment has increased by over 20%. The Bangladeshi community has seen an increase in over 40%. There's a 38% increase in the number of Chinese women, 24% increase in women from an Indian heritage, and almost 20% more women from a Pakistani background are also accessing IVF treatment. The authority believes some of the increase is down to more patients declaring their ethnicity, but they want women from these backgrounds to feel empowered to access IVF.
More information and empowering women with the right knowledge will demystify IVF and make it just like any treatment.
But the stats also showed the already low number of women from a black background taking up IVF treatment last year are even lower than in 2013. Vanessa took 2 rounds of IVF and now has a 1-year-old son. But after her experience, she wants to normalise conversations around fertility in her community.
I feel that as a community, there's always an image of having to feel strong or appear strong and that you're handling things. So having to go to people and say we're struggling, and the image that it almost puts on the man, let alone the woman, is I think a bit overwhelming for a couple to be open about.
It's in these types of communities where fertility remains a huge taboo, and often the assumption is that the problem is the fault of the woman, and it's them who are on the receiving end of outdated and accusatory comments, resulting in serious feelings of shame. But it's talking about the end result that women from these backgrounds have achieved, which will help others in the future.
I have no shame talking about it because we have a beautiful miracle. God, we have a beautiful miracle at the end of it.
Whilst more women from a BAME background are fighting the social and cultural stigmas and undergoing IVF treatment, the number is still incredibly low. It's mums like Vanessa and Asma who are living proof that turning to science can give them the family they always wanted. Inzamam Rashid, Sky News.